After a nice little week off, I am back again in Oxford this week for pretty much a whole week of events videography, which isn't something I do that much of. But this week I'm mainly helping out with another Oxford-based production company, doing a bunch of shoots for them and with them. Yesterday evening, I was stepping in for another company filming a lecture at a college. It was a memorial lecture. They wanted it recorded so they can eventually reuse it in the future. So we just used 2 cameras, very simple setup. But we were also sending audio to a little speaker in the room. So I was managing the live audio as well as recording everything, but it was super simple. And then this morning, I'm going off to another Oxford college, one of my other clients, filming a short piece to camera, spending the rest of the day editing, filming a thing at a cinema this evening. And then the next 2 days, I'm part of a small team filming and streaming a conference at the Natural History Museum. My day started with a quick piece to camera setup. I went for my standard setup for this sort of thing, so a 300D and light dome for my key light placed on the same side as all the windows so that I'm helping out the window light rather than fighting against it. It just looks a lot more natural. And then a 300X slightly warm as my backlight on the opposite side. The background had a fireplace in, which just looked a little bit boring, so I stuck a panel light in there to make it a bit more interesting. And then for audio, I had a Rode NTG5 into my Zoom F6 recorder, and then I used a DJI wireless lav mic for backup audio. The piece this morning was scripted, which is really nice, so I set up an A7S III on my iPad teleprompter, which just works fantastically. It lets me control it in real time from my phone. Nice thing about real-time control is that we don't need to preset a scroll speed, so I can just tell the person speaking to read at whatever speed they want, and I just follow along with their pacing, which makes everything feel a whole lot more natural. The script we filmed was only about 2 minutes long. It often feels like a whole load of kit and setup for only 2 minutes of content, but we wanted to get nice high quality, so this is what it takes. It all went really well, got all the kit away, and drove back to start editing. I've been back at the flat editing all afternoon, mainly working on the wedding I filmed last week. At the moment, I'm off to a independent cinema in Oxford in a couple of hours to go and film a panel discussion that's happening after a screening of a film. So I don't know how much behind the scenes I'll be able to get in there, but another event tonight. I really didn't know what to expect at this cinema shoot. It was confirmed literally 6 hours earlier, so I didn't have much prep time. My main challenge was audio. I needed to mic up 4 different people for a panel discussion, and I didn't have much time at all to sort any of that. So thankfully when I got there, I realised that the venue was already going to be putting mics on each person in the panel. So I climbed up a little hatch into their control room, and after a whole load of faffing about, managed to get 4 separate outputs from the venue's radio mics straight into my recorder. I would have just used an output from their desk, but I didn't have the right jack cables with me to do that. So thankfully I was able to find 4 XLR cables in my bag to take each feed separately. Once the audio was figured out, this was a really simple job. I set up my cameras, and then once the movie had finished, there was about 45 minutes of panel conversation to film. These kind of venues are where having something like a Sony A7S III is just so helpful. The lighting was so low, there wasn't much at all, but I was still able to get a really clean shot by pushing up my ISO and shooting at f2.8 on the lens. Once that was done, I packed away, went home, and got ready for the final 2 days. So these were the big days. Thursday and Friday were filming and streaming a conference at the Natural History Museum. It was a team of 4 of us, me, plus another camera operator, a sound guy, and then someone controlling and running the live stream. Since COVID, these sort of hybrid events with live and online audiences and speakers have become a lot more popular. We had 3 cameras, an FX6 and FX3 at the back, and then my Sony A7S III up on the stage to capture the audience during the Q&A slots. All 3 cameras ran into a touchscreen mixer, which then ran into the Zoom live stream. It took 4 different laptops to make this whole thing work, so there were cables literally everywhere, but it seemed to go pretty flawlessly. I think the key with these sort of live projects is just having backups of backups of backups. So if one camera goes down, another can jump in. If one laptop stops working, there are 3 more to do the job. It takes a lot of kit and a lot of setup time, but when it works well, it's fantastic. Set down at the end took a while, as you can imagine, but the client seemed happy, nothing went majorly wrong, and I was ready to head back to London. I am all done in Oxford after what feels like a very long week of a bunch of different events and stuff going on. It's been crazy, but it's been really good fun. Definitely learned a lot, done a few things that I don't normally do, which is always nice. But yeah, hopefully this has been an interesting little journey behind the scenes. Let me know if you have any questions at all, as always. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.